Burnout is my friend. What the hell was that? You gained 20 pounds, but who genuinely cares? The Chick-fil-A on campus, I'm gonna gain 20 pounds. And, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. ChatGPT. Ooh wee, do not work. I miss those community college days. First thing that I really want to address when it comes to college is, hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
They say she get it from her mama. Mama say you fuck her right. Body rude is fun, but like tell me you know.
If you're new here, my name is Shaquoya Clark. I do mental health, lifestyle, and give college tips. But if you're not new here, welcome back. I miss you so much. The Big Sister series is basically about giving advice that I wish that I had before I did different endeavors. Today's video is about if you're thinking about going to college. Now, if you click this video, you could be 14 or 60. Like, anybody can go to college at any age. Now, I'm not saying that a 14-year-old is going to go to college, but it is good to think about going to college pretty early. In my experience, I didn't think about going to college. Well, I thought about it multiple times, but when I graduated high school, there was not a thought in my head about school, because I was like, oh my gosh, I just left school. Like, I don't want to think about going to school. But I didn't apply to community college until like July or August, and it had to be July. It had to be. But I didn't apply to community college until July, and I went to school that August. I was grateful enough to get in, although, I mean, it is just community college. I was grateful enough to get in that they still had room, that they were taking freshmen. I wish I would have thought about it a little bit more, because maybe I could have went to a university. I could have got scholarships. Like, there's so many things that could have went into it. Now I am getting my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. Just sharing some advice that I wish that I had before I even stepped foot on a college campus. So let's get into it. Let's start off with why college might be for you. Higher education is going to help open a little bit more doors for you that may be closed if you don't have a higher education. Again, for me, I'm getting my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, which is just counseling. Just counseling, right? If I don't have, if I at least don't have a master's, like, I have to have a master's to get into this career field. And if I don't, it would just never happen. I would have to do the runaround and become like a life coach or something like that. And that's not what I want to be. I want to be a counselor. And with the master's degree, that leads me on the right path to get a license, which I also have to be in this career. You see how some careers really require you to have a degree, and you can't even step foot inside the firm or the building or company without a degree under your belt. I will say that some career fields are now starting to not require degrees, or some career fields in general don't really require degrees. Experience sometimes will overthrow education. You having this experience under your belt is going to overthrow some people's education, but that varies from different careers. College is not just about getting an education, and you know, that's what I went in thinking about. Like, that's what I went in thinking about. Oh, it's just, I'm just here to learn, I'm just here to get an education and go home. No, it is so much more than that. You are building your network. These people are going to be your peers, your friends, your co-workers, and it's also about having fun. Like, college is about having fun. You can have fun. Especially if you're on the younger side, you're learning to do a lot of things by yourself. You're learning how to become independent. You are the one making your schedule for class. Like, in high school, it was your counselors. You were picking the classes, but you weren't picking the times you were taking those classes. In college, you are picking those classes. You're picking not only are you picking the classes, but you're picking what time the classes are, what day the classes are. It's going to be a first of independency for a lot of people. That's a lot of responsibility to take on. Having a degree under your belt and even the experience that you got from college will open a lot more doors for you compared to if you didn't have a degree. But again, you know, that depends on the career that you are looking to have. If you've made it this far, that means that you are still considering going to college. First thing that I really want to address when it comes to college is it costs. It costs your time and it costs money to attend college. It is a commitment. Now, before I even get into the finances of it, but I want to say that it is a time commitment. Even if you're just part-time, that means you might be working a part-time job and being part-time in school. That's still a lot to juggle. Having a full-time job, especially if you have a full-time job at all. College is still a time commitment, whether you're part-time or full-time. You still have to show up. You still have to engage in the class. You still have to read. Like, it is a time commitment. And even if you join a club, that's a commitment as well. You have to show up. You have to participate. All aspects of college is a commitment. Now, financially, somebody's paying for you to go to school, whether someone gave you a scholarship. I feel like that can be on the fence of if someone's paying for it, because you don't have to pay that back, but someone did pay for you to go to school. When it comes to scholarships, loans, and grants, and even out of pocket, someone is paying for you to go to school and you don't want them to waste their money, including yourself if you're paying for yourself to go to school. My advice, if you are thinking about going to school and you're worried about the financial aspect of it, start with community college, because that's what I did. Because of the financial side, like, they helped so much, so much. Community college really reduced the price of school, but I still had to pay out of pocket. I would definitely apply for as many scholarships as possible. I would look into loans and the differences of loans. I would look into what grants you can get, looking at the different schools and how much around they're gonna cost. If they give loans, if they don't give loans, if they accept the scholarships that you are applying for. The financial aspect of school can really deter people from actually going. So that's something that people really need to look into when it comes to going to college. Now, if you're not ready to commit to school financially or time-wise, take a gap year. I don't see any issue with taking a gap year. People see it as being lazy, or you're not going to go back to school. Well, that means that you never were meant to go to school. If you never go to school, or if you never go back to school, who cares? A lot of my friends went to college and they took a gap year and they never went back. And I love that for them, because that means that they were never meant to go to college, or they fell in love with something else. So taking a gap year is not the worst thing ever. So when it came to me deciding if I was going to go to school or not, I felt like it was low-key a no-brainer, because I did not want to go to work. But I realized that I wanted to work in mental health, and talking about any aspect of health, you need some type of education. So it was a no-brainer for me to go to school. And I chose community college actually because it was closer to my house. But I don't regret going to community college first, because it was cheaper, the community was smaller. So the next aspect I want to talk about is actually preparing for college. Congratulations, you made it this far. We are about to prepare for college. The first thing you gotta do, you gotta apply. You have to apply. Apply to whatever college that you think that you're interested in. In my opinion, do a little research on them. What is their mission statement? What is their goal? A lot of that may not mean a lot to y'all, but their mission statement or their goal is important, because if they're not reaching out for a demographic who looks like you, they're probably not serving people that looks like you. They probably don't have a lot of clubs or education for people like you. So that means, do you want to go to HBCU? Do you want to go to a PWI? Those things are important. So before you even apply, once you do your research, that means you are ready to apply to those schools. And applying costs money, unfortunately. Whether it is $70 or $150, you guys have to be ready to pay the application fee. And sometimes you can get those waived, but again, you have to do a little bit more research on how to get those waived and who are they waived for. The next thing that I would think about when preparing for college is, how are you going to pay for college? So let's say you get in, congratulations, you are now going to college. How are you paying for school? Because you don't really know how much you need to pay until you apply for those classes, and then you get the bill and it's like, are you going to be paying out of pocket? Do you have a scholarship? Are you going to take out some loans? Do you qualify enough for a grant? All of that takes research. How can I apply for a loan? How can I get a grant? How can I get a scholarship? Do I need to pay out of pocket? Do your research, especially on the specific school that you are attending. All of the, not necessarily boring aspect, but the boring aspects are out of the way. When preparing for school, let's think about the social aspect, which is a little bit more fun. Do you want to join a club? What club? It's so important. Before you even step foot on campus, you need to do a lot of research. You need to do a lot of research. Unless you just want to go in and say, F it, we ball. First day, I'm gonna go to this club. I'm gonna walk up to them and do this and do that. That works too. If you just want to be mentally prepared, because that's how I am. I don't like to go into places not knowing what the heck is gonna happen. I want to join this. I want to join this club because they align with my values. I want to go to this school because they align with my values. And I think another part of planning for school is who is supporting you through school. And it doesn't have to be financially. And this will play a part into what I'm gonna say next. But who is supporting you through school? Who is somebody that you can always pick up the phone and talk to? And that can be friends on campus. That can be friends from high school, just friends in general, or family friends, people like that. You're going to need that social aspect, you know, have support. And that leads me into this next part, talking about mental health in college. Ooh wee. Your mental health can drop in a second. Your mental health can drop in a second. And I feel like no one really talks about how mentally challenging school can really be. Especially going from high school to college, that straight jump. Nobody really talks about that. No one really talks about that transition at all. You can get burnt out. Burnout is when you put too many eggs in one basket and you don't have enough for the other baskets. It's like you don't have any more energy to give. You don't have the motivation to do anything. And as a grad student, I get burnt out. But I am learning how to combat that, and I'm being better at it. So if you're wanting to go to school, you need to prioritize your mental health. A lot of campuses provide free mental health services, and that is amazing. That is great. When I was in undergrad, I did not utilize the mental health services like I should have. A part of that costed me. Was I still doing good in school? Yeah, but I wasn't feeling good, because even by the time I graduated, I was on the stage graduating with my bachelor's, and it didn't feel like anything because I didn't talk about how I was grieving, and because I had never grieved before, and I should have utilized the mental health services that I had there for me while I was in undergrad. All that to say, for mental health, I want everybody to take care of their mental health. If you are struggling, please reach out to somebody. It's incredibly important. You are incredibly important to this world, and I would miss you if you were gone. I would be upset if something was to happen to you. One last thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to college is the lifestyle. Which there are a plethora of lifestyles that you can live in college, because that depends on if you are 18 going into college or if you were 60 going into college. For a lot of people, it is a lot of people's first time living on their own or even having some type of independency. And that can be scary. That can be scary. My tips is to create a balance between school, life, health, including mental health, and work. Honestly, in my opinion, if you don't have to, if there's someone taking care of those bills for you, do not work. Don't work. Now, if you want a little extra change on the side and that person is not paying for that, I would. But if you don't have to, don't, because then that's just gonna add something else to your bucket, to your basket, where it's like, oh no, I have too many eggs in one basket. Don't fall into the trap of medical practitioners saying that you are freshmen. Have you ever heard of the freshman 20? And just to go over it, the freshman 20 means that there's a stigma of freshmen gaining 20 pounds when they go into school. Who cares? If you gain 20 pounds, who cares? You're going through something completely different that you've never experienced before. If you gain 20 pounds, who cares? That's why you have your support system with you to help guide you through that if you gain 20 pounds. But who genuinely cares? I'm going through something like the Chick-fil-A on campus. I'm gonna gain 20 pounds. And oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay. But no, really, don't let anybody scare you with all these freshmen and college stigmas. Like, this is your own experience. Let them see for themselves how you are going to experience college. Just make sure that you are prepared to balance all aspects of your life, meaning how are you going to take care of yourself health-wise, financially wise, mental health-wise, school-wise. How are you going to balance all those things at once? Because it can be really difficult. And again, you can talk to your counselor about that, or even get a life coach. Like, hey, I'm struggling. How can I balance all this? I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. ChatGPT. If you don't want to pay money for anything, ask them. Ask them, because it comes fast and it's simple. Now, don't use ChatGPT for school. If you are struggling and you want them to make you a planner, I have these classes, I have all this going on, can you tell me how to balance all of that? Put that into ChatGPT. There's your answer. But what I would suggest first is seeing a counselor. Well, guys, that is it for this video if you were wanting to go to college and what I wish I knew before I went to college. If you guys have any more questions or if you guys have any advice or tips about going to college, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you guys check out my other videos about mental health in college and college portfolios. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please stay tuned for other videos in the Big Sister series. Follow me on my socials. They're going to be linked in the bio below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.